Finally today, according to the latest data, U.S. farm income rose to new heights in 2022 before we expected a dip here in 2023. However, there were certain factors that led to net farm income rebounding here in Nebraska. To learn more about this update, we sat down with Nebraska Extension Educator Dr. Lubben earlier this week. Today on Crop Talk, we're visiting with Dr. Lubben about farm income projections from the Center for Ag Profitability. Kind of have you set this up for us of what are some of the metrics that you all in the Center for Ag Profitability look for?
You know, we're looking at farm income prospects in Nebraska, a state level number to give us a better picture of the economic outlook in the state and the significance, the contribution of the Nebraska ag sector. We look at crop production, livestock production, we look at price. We're obviously ultimately looking at value of production and contribution to the economy. We're also looking at and concerned about where input costs are going, and we see a trade-off between a lot of those things really driving the farm income outlook at the present time.
Well, that is certainly, I imagine, a number that ebbs and flows. If
Right.
you can, just take us back a few years and tell us, I guess, kind of how we've ebbed and flows over the years.
You know, we put together an estimate twice a year in a collaboration with the University of Missouri's Rural and Farm Finance Policy Analysis Center, long title, shorter acronym called RAF for Rural and Farm Finance. But the fundamental goal of that is to produce an ongoing real-time farm income estimate. And if we back up to our projections in 2021 and ultimately final numbers that are estimated and published by USDA's Economic Research Service, Nebraska farm income peaked at a record level of just over $8 billion. That's a farm income value that represents value of production, value added by the ag sector, including the relevant contributions for assets and capital invested and labor invested, et cetera. So it's a figurative number that describes the economic contributions in Nebraska agriculture, $8 billion. Well, nationally, farm income went from, in 2021 to 2022, went up dramatically with higher prices and good farm income prospects nationwide. Nebraska didn't enjoy that joy. We, in fact, fell from 21 to 22 largely as a result of the drought impact and substantial declines in yield production, so the crop side particularly really struggled in 2022. The outlook for 2023 that we just released here in the last couple, 3 weeks, says we recover in 2023. We fall from $8 billion to roughly $6.5 billion, recovering toward $7.5 billion here for 2023. That's even as national income falls back dramatically from 2022 to 2023. It's almost like we took two mirrored paths from 21. We were here nationally, we went up before we came back down. Nebraska, we were here. 2022 we fell, 2023 we're coming back. We're both getting back to roughly where we were in 2021. All of that said, the outlook is a function of, well, where did we make gains? Crops rebounded some in terms of yield. Prices are substantially lower, so the big kick didn't happen there. The real big contribution to farm income in 2023 is much higher cattle prices, driving a sector that represents 90+% of livestock receipts in the state. So that's where the gains were felt in 2023.
Well, it's interesting that you all are tracking this data and want to tell our viewers today that they can view that. The report in its entirety at cap.unl.edu. You also did a webinar to talk about the numbers in detail, right?
We did a webinar, and that webinar gave us an opportunity to talk about the national outlook coupled with and compared with the Nebraska outlook. And so there's good information there by virtue of the report or the webinar or other resources and insights that we are continually putting up at cap.unl.edu.
You starting to look toward 2024 when we start to do that?
We're soon enough. And the next go round, twice a year, in March of 24, we'll have our first projections for the coming year.